How are my learners doing today? How is everyone doing today? I am personally very happy because most of you have improved your writing. Some of you are writing very beautiful pieces and that deserves a high five. Today, all I have to say is that the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. Keep revising and you shall yield very, very good results. Our lesson for today is on how to write a diary entry. I'm sure by now you have come across such a topic, so that is what we are going to look at today. First of all, we will look at what a diary is, what a diary entry is, the features of a diary entry, as well as the format of a single day diary entry or a single diary entry, and that of many entries or that of many days entries. So please make sure that you pay attention until the end so that at the end of the day, you'll be able to write beautiful pieces of diaries. So have you ever asked yourselves about what a diary is and how important it is to you? A diary is a personal book. I know there are people who always want to sneak into others' diaries. That's bad. This is a book in which one keeps a diary record of events and experiences. Whatever you go through daily, whatever you experience on a daily basis, can be recorded here. Now, we all know that a diary is a book. It is a book which has a separate space for each day of the year. It can also be called a journal. So it's good to understand that a diary is a journal. Now we all understand that a diary is a book. It is a journal. Now let us look at what a diary entry is. A diary entry is a type of recount. What is a recount? A recount is a way of telling others what has happened to you. So when you are telling us about your feelings, your experiences, when you are telling us about what happened during or throughout your day, you are recounting of your experiences. It is also a collection of what happens in your life day by day. So it's a collection of moments. It is a record of your interesting, your mundane, as well as your thoughts and feelings. So remember, it's a personal book where you are writing a collection of what happens. Sadness, goodness, happiness can be recorded here. When writing your diary entry, there are some features that you have to pay attention to. I am going to list them here, but I am going to explain them to you so that you understand them better. Number one, you have to write in first person. You may also have to write in past tense. You will have to write in paragraphs. You have to include your observations, thoughts, and feelings. And most importantly, do not forget number 7, date and introduction for each entry. Let us assume you are writing a lot of entries or many entries, more than one. You have to write your events in chronological order. I almost said chronological. Ish, this English is not my friend today. We are moving on to 9 and we are saying that give a detailed explanation of your feelings, your observation, your thoughts, and so forth. Number 10, do not forget to use emotive language. Go and find out what emotive language is. I cannot keep spoon feeding you. And lastly, number 11 is saying that be conscious of time conjunctions. A clever learner like you from here will obviously go and research or find out what these things are. Anyway, let me give you the skeletons, then you can go and bake them up yourselves. The first person. What do we mean when we say write your diary entry in the first person? Well, you are using the first person I because the entry is about you. Yeah, it's about your feelings. So, how can you not use I? You are talking about yourself. That is why you need to make use of first person I. My entry, my diary entry is about me. That is why, for example, I can say, I used all my savings to please him. I know you don't understand who I'm talking about because this is my diary. It's my personal book. That is why. Now let's look at the next feature, which is the past tense. You might have to use a past tense because what you are talking about might have passed already. So if something has happened already, then that means you have to use past tense. For instance, you can say, it took too long. Took is past tense. In most cases, diary entry topics request us to write about something that would have happened already. So if your question is in past tense, make sure that you employ past tense and you'll just write as beautifully as you can. We are moving on to the next feature, which is paragraphs. Have a clear structure. Use paragraphs to separate different events and ideas. Please make use of paragraphs. There's a belief that a diary entry need to be just in one paragraph. You might have prompts. So within each paragraph include observations, especially what you saw. Talk about your thoughts and feelings. If you are given prompts or guidelines, you are very, very lucky. For instance, in your paragraph, you can say, I was so relieved to see my brother. My throat was dry and I needed water. To be relieved is to feel better. A dry throat. You needed water. These are good words. Let us look at chronological order. Diaries or recounts are written in the order in which they happened. Chronological order. Use time conjunctions like primary, next, then, and finally to show this. I hope you understand this. This is just a way of showing what happened first, what happened next, and what happened after the other. So make sure that your events are being discussed or are being brought out as in the order they appeared. Use description to add detail so the reader can build on image in their head. For instance, if you say, the sand dunes were as tall as mountains. When I read, I may create a picture in my mind about the sand dunes having the same height as the mountains. That way you have created a picture in the reader's mind. Let us talk about emotive language. You must use emotive language so that the reader understands your point of view. Research on emotive language. At least do something. Hey, come on. No to spoon feeding today. Let us now look at the format of a diary entry. Just like any other kind of writing, a diary entry needs you to write in its own format. Writing in a correct format is very, very important. So you might write one entry to describe a single day or several entries to describe a few days of your adventure. Now, let us look at a one-day entry, or let's say a single entry. A one-day entry has to look like this. Let us assume your topic is a worst day at school or the worst day at school. Whatever topic it is, for as long as it's going to be a single entry or a single day entry, you have to start with your day, date, month, and year in the top right corner of your answer sheet. For instance, you can say Thursday, 23rd November 2022. You skip your line, then you do it like how others like it, although I do not recommend it. There are people who want to say, Dear Diary. They want a salutation here. I do not recommend it because I personally do not find it having any value. But if you want, you can write it that way. After Dear Diary, you'll then move to the body of your diary. Remember, it's a diary entry. It's not a letter to somebody. It is a personal document. You are bringing out your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, and everything that happened. So write like you are talking to yourself. But please avoid using vulgar and unbecoming words, because although it is your personal document, in this instance, your personal document is going to be read by the marker. I know it is a secret document. Now I am remembering a friend of mine telling me about her brother who was always sneaking into her diary entry. You know what we planned? We agreed that she should write something awful about him. Then she wrote a very mean statement. That same day, the brother came to ask the sister why she was so mean to him. And this was the right time for the sister to really reprimand and explain to her brother that what he was doing was wrong. It is not good to sneak into somebody's diary book. So the body here may entail a lot of things, feelings. I may even wish bad for you because that is what I felt at that moment. After you discussed or after you are done with your content for the body, which in most cases will be according to the prompts given to you. If you are not given prompts, then you write according to the ideas that you have brought forward. Then you can go to your conclusion. In some cases, you can throw a question as your conclusion. Let us say you were lost in the desert, or let us say you were accused of something that you didn't do. You can write a question as your conclusion. How would you feel if it was you? You are asking your diary. You are not asking me. Or if you are discussing something very interesting, you can look into the future. Then, for instance, you can say, I am looking forward to see how I will do in the coming weeks. Maybe you had passed so well and you could not believe it. So you can always say, I'm looking forward to see how my next performance will be. Now let us look at how we can write more than one entry. There's not much difference. It is just that if your entry is going to cover more days, then each day will need its own day, date, month, and year. Unless if you want to have the day, date, month, and year of the first day, and then label the following days as the second day, the third day, and so forth. But the best way is just to have the day for the first content and the day for the second content or the second day, and so forth. For instance, here our topic is my 2 days in the forest. Maybe you were lost in the forest. Now you want to record how it happened and what was going on. So you can have your first day, date, month, and year in the right hand corner there, followed by the content of the first day. Then you have the day, date, month, and year for the next day, followed by the content of the second day. If it's time phrases, let's say you want to talk about your trip to Durban, then you can make use of time phrases. The first thing you need to know is you have your day, date, month, and year in the top right hand corner of your answer sheet. Then you put the time slot from 9 to 10:30. You talk about how you were at the airport or how you traveled to the airport. Then 10:30 to 11:30, you boarded the aeroplane. Then at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, you arrived. Then you do it in time phrases. You see now? Just like that. Yeah, like that. Go and write good pieces, okay? Thank you so much for paying attention and for attending to this lesson. We'll meet again in the next lesson. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a good day. Bye-bye.